been a while since I've done a vlog, so let's get straight into it. So what have we got on today? We've got a few little jobs. First job being a zappy. Well, not the install, we're going to look at a zappy. It's on a site where we've installed the solar. He already had a zappy installed, but I believe it's tripping the MCB every time that he charges his car. So potentially this is a failed unit. So yeah, we're going to have a quick look at that. Matt is over in Northwich working on a project. It is a project as well. So we have overly engineered a homemade EV charger for no other reason than that's what the customer wants. So in a nutshell, we're providing a smart relay and a solar edge device, which will then control a contactor coil. The contactor will feed a pen fault device. The pen fault device will feed a commando socket. Completely over-engineered. An EV charger would have just done the job, but this is what the customer wants. He wanted to design it this way, so we've helped him design it. Matt's over there installing that today. Once I'm done at this job, I'm going to head over to a commercial site just to do a little commercial investigation following a leak, just to make sure things are safe there and let them know what work needs doing. And then I'll be over joining Matty. So yeah, quite a busy day and quite a bit of driving around. But yeah, that's us in Manchester. So there's two properties in this cul-de-sac we've done, which is that one there and the one just over in the corner. Both look very nice with the solar skirt, I have to say. What the customer is saying is that he's noticed a few times once he's charging his car that when he wakes up in the morning, the zappy isn't on and it's not charged. So this is the scenario we have. Let me spin it around. Here's the zappy at the minute, not on. The customer's charging off a granny charger, we call it, which is plugged into an outdoor socket. And if I run around here, so we didn't install this charger. We didn't install this, but I'll show you the fuse board. So we've got an outdoor fuse board which feeds the zappy. Obviously main switch, SPD and MCB there. I think ideally that would have been better on a RCBO, but again, we didn't install it. When we've opened this cover, it is full of moisture, so I wonder if there's any moisture penetrated into there. However, the question on my mind now is, that's all switched on. In theory, that main switch should be fed from a set of tails, but the charger's off. So let's see why it's all switched on, but there's no power to the charger. Right, I've just had a chat with the customer. We know that the armoured goes from this distribution box underground and all the way to the zappy. There's nothing in between it, so there's no switch, fuse spur, isolator, rotary isolator, fuse board, or there's nothing in between it. So power should leave here and get over there. Let's open the meter box and see if this consumer unit's fed directly off the main tails, or if there's any sort of MCB inside there or RTD unit inside there. Let's have a look. Right, well, okay. So we've got some 16mm tails there that feed up through there onto the Henley blocks. Apart from it looking like a dog's dinner, this board theoretically should be live. First thing I'm going to do is let's open the zappy up. Let's check, see if there's any voltage in there. Let's see if power's getting back to there. If not, We will then open the board up, see if this is what's going on in there, and we can always R1, R2 it and make sure the circuit's complete all the way back to this zappy. So there's no power reaching the zappy. Tested it with that, and we've put this over. Let me show you. So I have tested live neutral, neutral earth, live earth, and there's no voltage. Obviously, if there was any sort of live power, this would pick it up as well. But for clarity, I have used my fluke. So let's go and have a look at the distribution board end. That's the board cover off. There's a lot of people banging the drum about outdoor distribution boards being IP rated and fit for purpose and everything else. I'm not a huge fan of them. I see why people have to do them, you know. However, this is something to pay attention to. Obviously there's quite a bit of corrosion there. Although the board inside is dry, obviously moisture's getting in there and affecting it, so it's a consideration. So if you look here, we have our live and neutral coming in, neutral going out, live going out. So realistically we should have power there. Let me investigate. On the load side, we've got no volts. But if I was to split that on there, on the supply side, 241 volts. So it seems to me that the MCB is knackered. We can isolate that and prove the point as well. There is moisture, I don't know if you can see, actually inside that switch. So yeah, not ideal. What we can do is check continuity through the MCB, and there's no continuity there. So to me, that is a failed MCB, and actually even on this one you can see water inside it. So let me strip that out and have a look. I mean, there we have it. So there's evidence of moisture inside there. There's some thermal damage on the side. Don't know if that's a bit of thermal damage there or whether it's just a mark. But anyway, there's no continuity through that. That's knackered. Let's get it swapped out for now. And we'll get a quote in to get the whole board replaced, because that isn't ideal. I don't have the same brand in my van, but what I have got is an RCBO. So it's not fed off of a buzz bar, so it doesn't really matter too much about the terminals lining up, although they do. The fly lead will get into there. This will get them through and be able to charge the car, but we 100% need to get a quote in to get the board replaced. It's just not good practice. I'm going to get this in, test the circuit, and then that's job one done for the day. So Zap is back on. Circuit tested out okay. Just definitely need to get a quote in and get the board swapped. Otherwise it's just going to continue to trip. It's a little bit safer now in the fact it's on an RCBO. But yeah, that needs sorting. So I'm going to pack up, finish my coffee, go speak to the customer, and then off to a commercial store. Join me in a minute. That's the first job of the day boxed off. Nothing too strenuous, but quote to follow. This is one of the flaws with outdoor consumer units. Up until now we've not installed any. There probably will be a point at which we will install one because it needs must and all of that, but we do try our very best to engineer out the way of installing an outdoor fuse board. I just think it's not good practice, but like I say, having said that, at some point we probably will end up installing one. So heading off now to a commercial store, and let's see what's going on over there. Not a great deal to show you on that commercial job, so it was basically just checking over things in the stock room, following a leak. Yeah, so water's all cleaned up, wasn't disrupting anything, so that was pretty much straightforward and done. So off back towards Northwich now. I'll go and catch up with Matty, who's on site, see how he's getting on. Yeah, let's go. Just popped in to see this SIG Energy that we installed just before Christmas, I think. The wireless dongle wasn't working brilliantly, so we've just swapped that out. Back in the van for another trip. Let's go see how Matt is getting on with the Solar Edge diverter switch and the most overcomplicated way of charging an EV car I've ever seen. Let's go find out. Right, so we're over at this job. Are you going to put it back or are you going to leave it there? Pile it back there. Right, so we're over at this job that Mike has been on. Again, the most long-winded EV charger device I've ever seen. So behind me is the pen fault device and the commando socket. A couple of Solar Edge inverters, which were installed by somebody else. We've installed an additional battery here, so we've got 3 Solar Edge batteries. Where was my finger? 1, 2, 3. Matt's put in the Solar Edge stuff down over there, and what else over there? Oh, the contactors over there, and then he's wiring the circuit up and around in that trunking already. Yeah, unnecessary, I think, but what can you do? It's what he wants. In theory, what I should be able to do is connect to setup, find the smart switch diverter, pair that, and that should then pull in the contactor. So although Matt's not got the circuit in just yet,
mate, you can actually get on with that.
yeah, if I compare that,
control circuits with you.
I can test that. So let's see if it works. This is the Solar Edge home load controller that we're putting in. Matt's in the process of labelling this up, but what we've got here is the Solar Edge home load device with a manual on and off. This is on a common and a normally open dry contactor. So that'll switch the live through to this contactor, pull the contactor in, contactor, there's Matthew, contactor then will, I'll show you over here, pull in this circuit to the pen device to the commando socket. Customer just wants to be able to switch things on when there's spare excess solar, and that's his prerogative, so that's what we've done. So Matt's going to clean up here, I'm going to head back to the unit, get some things done, and see how we get on for the rest of the day. Back at the office now. Quite an easy day, enjoyable day. Was it 2:30? A little bit of work to do, a couple of quotes from this morning to get on with, a couple of customers to get back to, customers to get back to, and then that should see us through to the end of the day. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a vlog. Not too much going on today, but that's a typical day-to-day running of what we get up to when we're not flat out installing solar, batteries and EVs. Yeah, cool. Join us again next time. Hopefully it'll be a full installation video, but nice little gap filler just to have the vlogs in there. See you soon. Back at the unit now. There's next week's installs. So I think I'm going to get on with tidying up a little bit. We've got another delivery coming tomorrow. We're just running out of space. We've got such a big unit, but it's so bad for organisation and space. We've got a mobile tower we've not used in months, probably a year. We've got more sets of ladders than we know what to do with. 2 power walls that need to go back to Tesla. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to open the shutter and get this all tidied up a bit. I'm not suggesting this is what I do intentionally, but you're not at home where you just throw things on the stairs and walk past it for weeks on end. This is months on end. Everything just gets thrown on the stairs. And what's worse, it's only me that ever tidies up the unit.